I always wave. This way.
Anita Roddick once said, "If you think you are too small to have an impact, try going to bed with a mosquito." She was a successful businesswoman who started her own business called The Body Shop. She was also a human rights activist, according to AnitaRocket.com. Everyone can make an impact, no matter how small you may think it may seem. I'm sure most of you have already made an impact on someone's life. Based on an event that took place in my life a few weeks ago, I realized the importance of this quote. Her quote can be interpreted by my attitude before going to the Arbors of Marietta, while being there, and the impact I made on people. I will first talk about how I felt before I went there, and then I will talk about how I interpreted the quote while I was there, and how I figured out the interpretation by reflecting on what happened. Now my interpretation begins with how I felt before I went to the Arbors of Marietta. I am part of the HPAC group at my school, which stands for Health Professions Affinity Community, which is basically a community service group that based on health problems. Our main focus is companion pets and the health benefits that come with having a companion pet. We go to the Humane Society and visit the animals there, raise money for them, and persuade people to buy animals. We took dogs to visit the residents at the Arbors of Marietta a few weeks ago. Before we went on this trip, I thought to myself that we wouldn't really have a major impact. This was too small of a project to really influence anyone. It would be a lot of fun, but we wouldn't really impact anyone. Looking back on this quote, I thought I was too small to have an impact. I just forgot to read the rest of the quote. Once we were there, I began to realize how the quote was explained by this experience. I went to the Humane Society to pick up a golden retriever named Jake. We traveled to the Arbors of Marietta and went upstairs to the dining room to visit the residents. The faces lit up when I walked Jake in there. The residents were excited and smiled. One lady, Sarah, began to take a fondness for Jake. She was in a wheelchair, so it was hard for her to pet some of the other dogs, but since Jake was so big, she could easily pet him. She smiled and put her hand out to pet him a lot. I talked to her about her family and other things for about 2 hours. I realized how big of a difference I was making in her life. When I was leaving and reflecting back on it, I understood that this quote applies to everyone. I definitely made an impact on Sarah. When leaving, Sarah said how nice it was to see Jake and talk to the residents. Her family is not able to visit her, and I brought more happiness to her in 3 months, what she said. She had knee surgery earlier and she was at the Arbors recovering. Petting Jake and talking to me was the most helpful therapy she's received there. She told the Arbors workers how much I impacted her. Those workers then told my advisor about this. Now, HPAC has scheduled more dates to visit these residents. I now realize what this quote meant. No matter how small you are, you can make a huge impact. But mainly, we should try to make good ones, not bad ones like the mosquito. Going to the Arbors of Marietta with my HPAC group, my attitude before the actual visit and reflecting back upon it made me understand Anita Roddick's quote. Anyone can make an impact on someone's life, no matter how small you are. Her quote is relevant in everyone's lives, and you can impact people every day. Oh, don't stop it.
Did you? No. Almost.